Okay, so our unit rate is in our table. Alrighty, so if I added 1 and 1.5 together, would I get a total of 5? Well, actually, no. 1 whole plus 1.5 wholes gives me 2.5. So that's close to 5, but it's not exact. In fact, it's actually halfway there. So what would happen if I doubled it? So if I doubled and added another one, I would get 2. So let me go ahead and just change the color here so you can keep an eye on me on what I'm doing next. So if I added another milliliter of yellow paint, I would have 2 milliliters. And if I added another 1.5, let me go ahead and just add some more scratch work over here, then I see that I get 3 whole milliliters of paint over here for the blue. And now is 2 plus 3 5? Yep, it is. So I have found 2 more pieces to my table. So I can actually erase this part here. And now it goes into my table and we are at the second row. Okay, so now looking at the third row, I know that we only have the blue paint given, which is a total of 6.75 milliliters. So how can I find the amount of yellow paint? Well, I know that in order to go from the yellow to the blue, I multiply with 1.5. So let me add that. So going this direction is multiplying by our constant multiplier of 1.5. So how can I actually use that to find the missing number of yellow paint? Well, we have to do the opposite. So instead of multiplying by 1.5, we're going to divide by 1.5. So I'm going to show my arrow this way and that we are dividing by 1.5. So 6.5 divided by 1.5. Remember, our bottom number is our divisor. Our top number is our numerator or our dividend. And so we are going to, actually I'm getting ahead of myself, we never divide by a decimal, therefore I need to make this a whole number. And in order to do that, I need to move this decimal one place to the right, as well as this number. So what we really did here was multiply by 10 to get 15 and 67.5. So now we have it set up, ready to go. So 15 goes into 64 times. Bring down the 7, bring down the 5, and then that is actually 5 times. And you can always double check my work here in a bit if you doubt me, but we get a total of 4.5 or 4.5 milliliters of yellow paint. So we can add that to our table, and we can always double check by doing the opposite and multiplying 4.5 times 1.5 to make sure that we are correct. In the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and continue by finding the total of our yellow and blue paint for row 3. So 4.5 plus 6.75, I've lined up my decimals, I filled in the zeros, and now I have 11.25 milliliters total for our third row. Awesome. Whew, we are almost done. So the last row, I see that we have 6.5 milliliters of yellow paint, but we are missing the blue milliliters of paint that we have to get to our total. And so with that being said, we did on the top row, we divided to work backwards, but this time we are going forwards. So we're actually going to multiply using our unit rate. So 6.5 times our unit rate of 1.5. And I'm going to just scroll down, putting my placeholder, and let's go ahead and add. There's one number behind the decimal point, one number behind the decimal point. So altogether, there needs to be 2 numbers behind our decimal point here. So we get 9.75 milliliters of yellow paint. Oh, I'm sorry, blue paint. Awesome. So if that is the case, we just now have to add them up to get our final total. Our final total. So 6.5 plus 9.75. See, I told you there was going to be a lot of decimal work. So that's 15, that's 16. And we get a total of 16.25 milliliters total. Alrighty, so I hope that we remembered our decimal operations. We refreshed our memory because we're going to also be completing a table like this as a guided practice and then independent practice. And then you're right, our exit ticket.